What about Måneskin? First of all, is that how you pronounce it? Is it Måneskin?
Let me tell you. No, it is one of the most interesting success stories in the history of rock because it's a rock and roll band from Italy with an unpronounceable name that has become very successful. So that's a lot. They had a lot going against them to start with, and
Right.
yet they rocketed up the charts. I believe
Huge
it's
success.
Måneskin, as if it's MON, because the band is from Italy, but the word is Danish. It means something like moon shining.
Right. So
like
it's mixed language, mixed culture.
It is.
Måneskin.
But I do have to say, like, it's a very, like, I played on the Måneskin song Gossip and have been sort of making the rounds with them as their new record Rush has come out. I didn't know much about the band. They had that big song Beggin', which was like a
cover.
multi-billion streaming song, whatnot. But I didn't know much about the band. So a friend of mine's kid was a big Måneskin fan. So when they were playing at the Roxy, a year or more ago, they asked me if I could help facilitate, getting into the show. I'm like, of course, like, fine, whatever. I've said, I'm not going to the show. Let me just make that clear. I'm not going to the show.
I will not be attending.
I ended up taking them to sound check and meeting the band in the parking lot and hang out. They were just lovely and big fans of rock and sort of knew my catalog inside and outside. And we exchanged numbers. And when they were in town, in the interim, I had seen them play like on Saturday Night Live and some shows. I'm like, this is like a real band. Like, it's not like, I didn't know what it was. When someone has a pop hit, one suspects there's 54 songwriters and a producer doing all that stuff this day and age. But I went over, they were recording their record in LA, and I went over to the house and we jammed a few days. And I was like, they can really fucking play. And they're like lovely people, and we just became really good friends, and I jammed on that song, and so it's nice for them to have it as the single.
I love hearing that because you're right. It was an explosion. It was like an overnight explosion worldwide. It was an anomaly. And when I was at Spotify, I was supporting them 100%, putting them on every playlist. It was just sort of like an undeniable fun feeling. Song after song was just a blast. And then, their fashion sense and their whole persona, it was just so fun and refreshing. But that's great to hear that not only are they talented, but great people as well. And I'm glad that you guys get on.
It's been great hanging out with them and just sort of seeing, on the one hand, I think they're all like 22 years old, but they were busking on the streets of, some of them know each other since they were 12. When they were 15 years old, the four of them were playing on the streets of Rome for change. So this is not a band that was manufactured by some game show, some talent show or something. Like, they've really been friends for their whole lives. And at 22, they're playing stadiums in Italy, and they have like a presence, and they're not afraid of it. And they are unapologetically a real rock and roll band, unapologetically a really sort of sexy sex band, and they have ideas too. And it's like, it's crazy that it's an Italian band in this day and age that is one of the standard bearers for rock and roll, but I'm all for it.
And it's important to know that they're the real deal, because some people hear, they were on a television show and they get an eye roll, but no, that was just the platform that helped propel all the work they were already doing.
That's correct. And it's a different television show. Like, it's a television show that U2 has played and that Bruce Springsteen has played. And it's not like, I don't know what the would be here, but it's not like I don't know much about the show other than the fact that all those bands have played it, and it's one thing that helped them out. So I'm all for it.
And I'm so glad it did, because it's important. They're waving the flag. They're just, it's like a jolt of that rock and roll spirit and that rock and roll energy.
It introduces to young, kids, 10, 11, 15, 17, 20, whatever, to, they're nominated for, when's the last time a rock band has been nominated for Best New Artist at the Grammys?
Yes, you're right.
You know what I mean? And so it's just,
I think it was Greta Van Fleet. Yeah, I think it was.
Yeah. It's a band with guitars in it, that is now the favorite band of 12-year-olds, competitive with K-pop bands and pop bands and rap artists and whatnot.
I watched your performance on Fallon. It was so fun. It was such a great show.
Yeah, it's nice I've rocked Fallon and with a lot of different bands, and it was a real blast playing with those guys.